We're back with Oliver Westcott of Anarcho-Capitalist.org. And Oliver, it's really interesting to me. I've heard some stories. I read one account in particular of these people dining at a London restaurant, and all of a sudden they got attacked by a roaming group of anarchists. No, they're not anarchists, they're young vandals. And we'll go into the cause and the reason behind this riot next, but I just want to briefly talk about this. Apparently these people broke the glass, they came in and they started robbing everyone in the restaurant. And this is such a great anarchist story because, of course, we just talked about the police were nowhere to be seen. Of course they're not. They're only good at really tasing people. I don't know if they do that in London, but they do that in the US and Canada, or giving you speeding tickets, or those sort of things. They don't really actually protect anybody. It's all a big facade. So in this particular case, they came into the restaurant, all these looters and rioters and thieves, and the entire staff of the restaurant, including the kitchen staff, came out with frying pans and all sorts of things and fought them off. And I thought that was great. And that's really what this is all about. That's what anarchy is about, is being responsible for yourself, not looking for some sort of a police or government to protect you. And I know you've got a few stories from around your area of shopkeepers protecting their own shops. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah. The Turkish and Kurdish community, they have businesses, small shops, internet cafes, hairdressers, butchers, kebab shops, that kind of thing, up and down a few streets of London. And there's quite a few of them in Green Lanes, just north of me, and in Dalston, Kingsland High Road, just south of me. And these guys, they protected their property, and they protected their businesses, and they protected the community, and they restored order where the police failed. And this is something that I think anarchists really need to talk more about, because they did actually succeed, and they have actually proved to local communities the efficiency of spontaneous order free of government coercion. And so I think there's some good lessons to learn from that.
Oh, there definitely is, and that's really great to hear. And it's interesting, it was the Kurds and the Turkish. I've been to Turkey, and I know what the shop owners there are like. I've heard some good things about the Kurds as well. My friends who've been to Iraq, and they say that the entire Kurdistan area, they're very entrepreneurial, very actually anarchist, really. They don't believe in government that much, and that probably is a part of what happened there. But I want to ask you now, we haven't gone into the reasons for why this is happening. Obviously, it started with some person being shot by the oppressors, the police, which is a normal way for these sort of things to start, and it's understandable. But if you were to listen to BBC or any of those other media outlets, these are just people gone wild, and we need to put them in cages, in jail, and they never look at the real root cause of these problems. And I'd really be interested to hear what you think are the root causes of this, what's going on right now in London or the UK.
Well, it can be quite hard to talk about it, I found. As soon as anyone goes close to trying to explain the roots of this, the fellow slaves, they try to keep you in line, and they are very quick to accuse you of trying to justify the violent acts of some whenever you try to provide any kind of explanation. So it's a very hard topic to talk about, and
well, that's why we have you on Anarchast, because that's all we talk about here is the truth, and we're not scared of it. So go ahead and tell us what you think is the reason for what's going on right now.
Well, for sure. I mean, a lot of people know about it on the street in the real world. There are a lot of people who are talking the truth about it, which is that these kids have been raised by the state, and they've been raised without a father figure, without a role model, and as evidence shows, this tends to breed violent personality disorders. So we've had 30 years of welfare state, and also a lot of people are, I guess I should have to say, complaining of the failure of multiculturalism. And so I think when we talk about these issues, we need to be very precise and careful to point in the right place. For me, the multiculturalism is a part of the welfare state. It's not the other way around. And so if we start to look at how the welfare state encourages single mothers to raise their kids without father figures through benefits, I think we can get a lot closer to the cause of this kind of mentality. But I think a riot of this scale, you need to differentiate between looters and other rioters. So there are an awful lot of opportunists who are just going into JD Sports and other top street brand name shops to load up on CDs or on mobile phones or on sportswear, gadgets, electronic gadgets. But there's also those that are there deliberately to take on the police, and there's others there which are just getting caught up in it. So there's different personalities in the riot, and I think there's a difference between a looter and a rioter. The looter is just observing an opportunity and taking advantage of it, and the rioter is someone who creates that opportunity by being violent and causing chaos.
Yes, it's really, from my perspective, not being there, but you look at the UK, especially from the outside perspective, with cameras on every corner. It's basically a low security jail at this point.
That's the other side. When I first moved to London, that's the first thing I noticed about the city was it was a prison. It was a prison, and it's we have Banksy, the graffiti artist, who is famous for his anarchistic graffiti work, which exposes the Big Brother state here. It is absolutely a very brave new world. Well, yeah, that kind of society in London. I'd never seen anything like it until I came here about 5-6 years ago. Security cameras are absolutely everywhere. The police are very invasive, and this is another point when we look at the riot. There is also the provocation that the state brings to these estates and to these downtrodden ghettos, these government ghettos. And I'm not saying that the people in these ghettos are poor, but I am saying that they can be harassed by the police, often for all the wrong reasons. And it's well known the police are very invasive here.
Yes, and it goes even far beyond that. The welfare state, the security cameras everywhere. Beyond that, they put all kids into indoctrination camps at a very young age for 12 years. I don't know if it's 12 years in England, but that's what it is in the US and most of Canada, and basically indoctrinate them into a statist system. Before they were even born, they've had their entire lives sold out from underneath them, and they're completely indebted. They're going to have much less prosperity than their fathers and grandparents because of all the welfare and the socialism and basically all outright theft that they've been doing over decades. And so for me, it's quite understandable why some youths might want to break a window.
Yeah.
And again, if anyone takes a clip of this entire Anarchast episode, they'll take that one clip and they'll say, look, I want people to break windows, and that's not the case at all. The only thing is, it's quite understandable when you actually look at it, and it's really interesting you brought up that graffiti writer, and I know you had a rapper on your website. I'm going to link to both of those on this Anarchast because I didn't know the graffiti artist, but I listened to the rapper and he was amazing, and he probably tells more about what's really going on in the street right now than any politician ever will. And so I don't know if you have any final comments you want to make on that, but we should wrap up in the next minute or two here. But if you have any final comments on any of that, let me know.
Well, I don't really have any final comments, really. The rapper's name is Arkala. He's a rapper from London and a bit of an entrepreneur. He runs his own record label, and he's not known for being a sellout. So yeah, I'm quite a fan, but I'm not sure if he'd qualify himself as a libertarian or an anarcho-capitalist. So maybe it's something that we could interview him one day. But yeah, thank you for having me on, Jeff. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, no, thank you. And I just want to mention that I actually think rap has been a big part of describing what's going on the streets. I've seen that ever since NWA and, F the police and all that, and a lot of the sort of the older white people just say, oh, those are just bad black people. No, they're on the street, they're the ones being oppressed by the police. So what they say in their raps is really important. So that's why I really enjoyed that rap on your website. But Oliver Westcott, thank you very much for being with us today, and I hope things calm down in the next few days there in London. You can enjoy a nice brunch in a cafe or something along those lines.
Thank you very much, a pleasure. Cheers, Jeff.
Okay, thank you. Peace, love, and anarchy.